Hey Gifted Crafters, welcome back for another Saturday CrafterNoon, and this is the first Saturday CrafterNoon of 2024. So exciting! I see a lot of you are in the chat, chatting away and loving the trivia. Little tough today, wasn't it? Well, we can't have it easy all the time, so we definitely want to give you guys a little challenge and keep you on your toes. So before we get into anything else, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and I host these weekly live sessions to talk about all things crafting. And we talk about all kinds of tips, tricks, ideas. Sometimes we do little demos. I kind of change it up all the time, and we do a range of different crafts, from sewing, quilting, crocheting, decoupage, and just so much more. There's so many crafts that are out there, and I like to dabble on a little bit of all kinds of things. So we like to keep it interesting, and we like to help out anyone who maybe has an Etsy shop, or maybe you have a craft fair coming up that you'll be participating in, or maybe you're just looking for some quick little gifts for some family and friends. You know, this is just the perfect place to kind of network. So go into the chat and just kind of get in there and chat away, meet a couple of people, share some tips, tricks, and ideas, and I'll be doing that with you for this hour. So thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your help and support with my channel. So before I go any further, let's just say hello to a couple friends I see out there. I see Amy Bullis, I see Crafting with Robin, Donna Phillips, Jackie Hallman, Jenny Owens, Judy Bauer, Marlene Colbert, 1 Minute Tips, Quilty Brownie, Robin's Quilt Basket, and I see some people are still kind of trickling in some more. So thank you guys all for joining once again. So today's a big day because today we're going to be announcing our fourth quarter Trivia Master, and we're also going to be announcing who our 2023 Trivia Champion is. So again, if you're tuning in for the first time, we like to start off all of our lives with a trivia question on the top of the hour. And these trivia questions, you can kind of participate in by just typing your answers into the chat. We will record the answers that you give, and on a quarter basis, we will kind of tally up all the points and see who our quarterly Trivia Master is, and then at the end of the year we will tally it all up all the way across throughout the whole year, and we will announce our Trivia Champion. And these guys will get a little gift from me. So let's just go over what they're going to be getting today. So the fourth quarter Trivia Master is going to get a $20 gift card. And they are also going to be receiving a book. They'll have a choice of 3 different books. So they can pick one of the 3 and let us know which one it is that they'd like to have. And then we also have the Trivia Champion, who will get a $50 gift card along with a book of their choice as well from 3 different options. And then we are also going to be providing our champion with the famous little aprons. So we have some gifted crafted aprons that we like to put together, and we'll be mailing them off to our champion. So I hope that you guys are just as excited as I am to announce the winner, and we'll be doing that towards the end of the program today. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. Okay, so let's just kind of review a little bit of what we talked about last week. So last week I put together a 2024 planner that you guys could use. And we talked about some planning tips. We talked about, a couple things that you could do in order to keep yourself organized. We provided a PDF, kind of like a perpetual type calendar that you can use. And it doesn't have specific dates on here, so you can reuse these calendars over and over and over again. So definitely it's fun. It's a great way to keep yourself organized. It's got a weekly planner section, a monthly planner, a daily planner, some notes in the back as well. And I hope you guys really are able to use this and enjoy it and keep yourself organized for the new year. So if you didn't catch that, that was on last week's live, which was live number 71. And you'll have the free PDFs available on in the description area. You'll be able to find a little link to be able to click on to get that as well. So I see a couple of people on there just saying that they printed they're using their planner. That makes me so happy. This is a great way to keep ourselves organized and to keep us on track with all of the craziness that goes on in our life, whether you have a business or even if just you're trying to keep yourself organized just in the household with so many things to do. I think it's just a great way of doing it, and I wanted to kind of make sure that I give you guys the right tools to be successful. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. So what are we getting this year, this week? So this week, excuse me, this week, if you caught my Facebook post earlier this morning, I told you guys to kind of get your scraps ready. So I've got a lot of scraps, and I'm sure for all of you that are out there that are sewing and quilting and you've got all kinds of things in your craft room, you have a ton of scraps. So what do you do with all of these scraps? There's so many different projects that you can do. And so what I wanted to do today was I wanted to kind of pull out one of the books that I have, and you've kind of seen these books before. This one is Annie's Quilting. It's called Pot Holders for All Seasons, and it's by Chris Malone. It's one of my favorite books to really kind of begin kind of enhancing your skills, your sewing skills, your quilting skills. I think this is a great way to start. So if you're a beginner sewer out there or a beginner quilter, this is a great place to start. This book really has a lot of different projects that you can make, and it really challenges your skills. So I just kind of want to touch upon a couple of things, do some tips, and then we're just kind of walk you through how you can make one of the pot holders today. So I'm going to be doing that with the scraps that I have on hand. I'm not going to go out and buy any new fabric. This is totally a bunch of projects that you can make with a simple fat quarter. So I've had this in my stash, never used it, and you know, I've got a whole little plastic container full of all kinds of scraps in here that I use, and I like to kind of use these. Sometimes I throw some scraps in here, and maybe I'll pop in a movie and I'll just cut 2.5-inch squares or 2-inch squares, and I'll throw them into the little container. And then when I'm ready to make a kind of a scrappy project, I already have some squares cut up, and so that kind of saves me some time. So sometimes I just want to do a little scrappy quilt, and you can do those easily with scraps. So scraps are just amazing. You can just do so many things with them. Just throw them in a little container to get them a little organized, and then you can sit there and just start cutting away. I have several that I've cut, and these are just kind of some of the stacks that I have on here. These are 2-inch squares actually, and you know, I'll just sit there and I can cut up a whole bunch of them and use these for any kind of project. And I do all kinds of colors and mix and match them, and then when I'm ready to do something like a scrappy quilt, they're already cut up and I can just kind of design what I want. And you can do all kinds of different sizes too. So you know, if you have a day that you know you want to be in your craft room but you don't really feel like working on any specific project, this is certainly something you can do. You can just cut up some squares, all different sizes, and then just kind of put them in your scrap bin and then just hold them for a project that you can do later on. So that's just one of my tips, one of the things that I like to do, and just move that over. And so this is the book that I want to take one of our projects today. And so I thought that today it would be fun if we made a patchwork Valentine pot holder. So I know I got you guys the planners, and so we want to keep on top of our holidays. At least that's one of the goals that I have, is to kind of stay ahead of the holidays, try to get things done before the holidays and not so much at the last minute. So I know that Christmas is over, We've got New Year's. That's just barely a week. It was just last week. But if you notice, all of the department stores that are out there are already taking out all of the Valentine merchandise. So if they're taking out Valentine merchandise, it's time for you to get started with your projects. So the next holiday that I'm looking to do projects for is for Valentine's Day. So I thought this would be just the perfect project to kind of start off. And it's a really simple project. It's really set up for beginners. Very, very easy to do. I'm just going to kind of walk you through the instructions that we have here. It's only a page of instructions, so it should be quilted and done really easily. So let's just kind of dive right into it, because I want to make sure we have enough time so that we can announce our winners as well. Okay, so again, you can use a fat quarter, or you can just go ahead and grab some of your scraps. Now, I have some of the pieces kind of already pre-assembled and done because I wanted to make sure that I save time. So I'm going to just kind of grab those. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of go over the supplies that you're going to need. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have 2-inch squares. And it can be all the same color. It can be multiple colors. You can just coordinate 2 different colors. I mean, you can do this so many different ways. It really doesn't matter. You can just pick random ones and just kind of put them down. I mean, I'm just kind of throw them in here and see what I can do. I'm going to go ahead and cut them up. And now these are all cut up as 2-inch squares to me. What I'm going to do is just kind of lay them out. And let me see if I can put this over here so it's kind of out of the way. And I'm going to lay them out in a way so that you guys can kind of visualize what it is we're going to be making. I'm just going to kind of alternate here. This project is just so super easy to do. It's just a great way to practice your skills as well, right? There are 3 main skills that you'll be practicing while you're doing this project. And you can do this project multiple times, right? You can change up the fabric and just do a different pot holder in a different color, you know, and all of that. So it's really nice. And it really allows you to work on those skills. So I know a lot of people struggle, and I'm going to try to give you some tips on what you can do to make this a little bit better. So as you can see here, it's kind of in the shape of a heart, but it is a little squared, right? But what you're going to be doing is putting this together and then layering it with some other items that we'll go over, and then you'll end up with this pot holder. So it really isn't that bad. So we start off with 2-inch squares, and you're going to need 21 squares. So go ahead and cut up 21 2-inch squares, and then you're going to want to lay them out how you want them. This is just a little design I threw together here, just using the scraps that I had. But again, it can be any way you want it. You could have it all one color. It's totally up to you. The great thing about this is once you have put this quilt top together, you can also put it on your embroidery machine and maybe embroider your name on it, a little initial. You can put a little design. You can do anything that you want. So it's just really versatile, which is what I love about this project. Okay, the other items that you're going to need, you're also going to need to cut up. And let me see if I can grab it here. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to... Yeah, I kind of put all of my projects in a little baggie. That's another little tip. Kind of keeps all your stuff together. So you're also going to need a strip. Any strip. Could be the same fabric, could be an alternating fabric. And you need to have 5 inches by 1 1/4. That's what you're going to need to cut it off by. And this is just going to be the little hanger that you're going to have on the side. Okay. So you're going to also need a backing fabric. So it could be the same fabric or you can use an alternating color. And the backing fabric is going to be cut at an 8-inch square. Then the other items that you're going to be using is the Insulbrite. You're going to need an 8-inch square of Insulbrite. And you're also going to need some cotton batting. Now, I have this huge cotton batting that I bought such a long time ago, but it's a queen size Quilter's Dream Cotton. And all I do is use this and I cut it up into pieces and I use it for multiple projects, which is a great way to kind of save some money too. And it will last me for a really long time. So don't worry if your measurements are not exact. One of the things that I really love about this project, it is very forgiving. You don't have to worry about everything coming out perfect, which is really great for a beginner. Because one of the 3 things that really become a challenge when you're quilting is cutting, sewing, and ironing. Those are the 3 things where your project could come out a little warped because one of those 3 things was not done correctly. So you need to make sure that when you're doing your cutting, that you're cutting at an accurate 2-inch square. Or if you're cutting the little holder, you need to make sure you are at 1 1/4 by 5 inches. And just make sure that you are doing it accurately. Take your time. If you have a magnet that you can use or some type of item to use to hold down your fabric and hold your ruler in place, go ahead and use those. It'll prevent your ruler from slipping. It'll, just take your time. Make sure you're pushing down with your hands when you're going to do the cutting. That way you can ensure that you have a nice straight cut. And these cuts are really small. So these squares are so tiny that, you should be able to use a small ruler and you'll be perfectly fine with that. So cutting, making sure that you get accurate cuts, measure twice, cut once. That's the best rule that there is out there. But I like to add, after I've cut it, I'll go back, measure it again. Triple check. Make sure that you did make that accurate 2-inch square. That really helps, because if you don't check it again and you do kind of mess it up and then you add another layer on top of it and you continue on with the project, you're going to notice that your seam allowance and everything is going to kind of shrink and you're not going to get exactly to where you need to be. So one of the things I like to do, measure twice, cut once, go ahead and cut it accurately, and then measure it again to make sure you got the exact measurement that you were looking to get. So once you've done all your cutting and you've got your 21 squares, you've got your 1 1/4 inch by 5 inch strip, you're going to need the 8-inch of the backing, you're going to need cotton batting and Insulbrite. So we've got all of these items here. I'm going to move these kind of over a little bit here. And I've got multiple ones of these, so some of them are kind of like different colors and stuff. So again, the cotton batting and the Insulbrite, if you cut it a little bit larger, that's totally fine. It's going to be trimmed down anyway, so don't worry about it. Okay, then you also have the backing that you're going to use. You have the 1 1/4 inch by 5 inch strip. And then you have all of your little 21 2-inch squares. And what we're going to be doing is putting all of that together. So let me just show you how you would lay that out and what you would start with. So let's go back to this one because I think this one kind of really shows well on the camera a little better than the other colors do. So I'm going to kind of start this off. Once you have your squares all cut up, you're going to want to lay this out first. And I will kind of pivot it over this way. So you're going to want to have 2 rows of 3. And you're going to go ahead and put them in the order that you'd like. And then what you want to do is just kind of take the squares and lay them on top. Just like that. And take that over to your sewing machine. Now, some people like to do chain piecing. And chain piecing is just basically, it's a way of saving on thread. And what you would like to do there is just go ahead and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then sew the next one, and then sew the next one. So it kind of chains all 3 together. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. You don't have to. That's just kind of a little quicker method, maybe for a little bit more advanced people that are out there, you know, to go ahead and chain piece things to make it a little bit easier, quicker, and saving thread. If not, you can go ahead and line these up. You definitely want to make sure that you line these up completely, one on top of the other. Go ahead and sew that 1/4 inch seam allowance going across. And you're going to do that for all 3 of these. Okay, once you do that, now kind of put these over to the side. You've got 6 squares, right? All together. Then you're going to want to do the other ones. So you're going to want to go ahead and sew these together by flipping them on top. Let me just take this little tape off. Kind of had this put together just so I could show you guys. Let me kind of take it off. Just so I can get this going. Okay. And one more here. Okay. So once you have this ready to go, you want to have one whole row of 5 going all the way up. So you want 3 rows of 5 squares. And then you want to lay, once you have all of these connected, you're going to want to lay these on top. Go ahead and do a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. And then once these 2 are connected, you're going to want to bring the 3rd one in and do the same thing. And then you want to join this 6 square that you did. Go ahead and join that together. All of this with a 1/4 inch seam. So again, you have your 6 block here. So your 6 2-inch squares all together. You're going to sew that with a 1/4 inch. You're going to have a row of 5, 3 of those, and then go ahead and sew those together. Once you do that, you should end up with something like this. Here we go. So we'll have, and I'll show you this one first because it's a little bit easier. You'll have this, but it won't be cut up. Well, actually, I'm going to pull this one out of my pile. Unpin it. Okay. So here is one. I'll kind of undo my pins so you guys could see it. this is what you're going to end up with once you are done, right? This heart is still not ready because there are some other things that you're going to need to do. So once you have everything all sewed together, what you're going to want to do is trim off on the diagonal line. So just grab a little ruler. Yep. Go ahead and grab the ruler, and then what you're going to want to do is line up your ruler on the point for the first little square, and you're going to just line it up point to point. Go ahead, grab that point, and then what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and get your rotary color, and we're going to cut that off. So let's go ahead and do that. So point to point, grab my little rotary cutter here. Just go ahead and snip that off. You're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And then also you're going to do the same thing on the top. And this is basically making the little hump for the heart. So let me just cut it off and then I'll show you. And again, you're going diagonal to diagonal. Just look at your points, see where your seams meet, and that's where you're going to want to cut. So once you've done that, you've gone ahead and you've cut this. You've got all your little points and it's looking like a heart, which is really neat. So once you've done that, you're ready to now attach. Take that little 5" by 1 1/4" strip, and what you want to do on that one, once you have that strip ready, just grab your iron, fold that strip in half. Once you've folded it in half, then you're going to want to fold the edges onto itself. So you're bringing the edges of the fabric to the middle. So it will look something like this. So just bringing that fold in, and then you're going to fold it again. And this is basically just so that you can hide the raw edges. So none of the raw edges are going to show here. Now you can go ahead, bring this to your sewing machine and just do a nice little top stitch here on the edge, about 1/8 inch to go ahead and close this. And then you'll have your little handle. Now, what you're going to do once that is nice and sewed up is you're going to fold it in half. And you're going to take your pot holder, and what you're going to do is you want to go ahead and figure out where you want to place this. So different people like to put it in different places. I think that I like it kind of in the top corner here, maybe in the center of this top square, but you can really put it anywhere you want depending how you want your pot holder to hang. And once you have it pinned in place, go ahead and grab one of your pins, pin that in place, and just hold it there, because when we do our top stitch, that's when we'll be kind of doing this piece right here. So just go ahead and leave that there. But now I think you're ready. Once you have this all completed, you're ready to kind of start putting things together. And let me show you what that would look like, because there is a certain order that you need to put it in. So I'm going to stick this over to the side. Let me just double check that I didn't forget to tell you anything here. Okay, I think we're good. So what we want to do, let me just check here. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to want to start off with your cotton batting, and you're going to put the cotton batting down first on your table. The next item that you're going to want to pull into this is the insulated batting. Now, make sure that you read the instructions on your insulated batting because you want to make sure that you're using it the correct way. I'm using Insulbright, so I'm going to be using the shiny side up. So you can see here is a little bit of a dull side, and then you have the shiny side. So you want the shiny side facing you. So shiny side up on that. Then you're going to take your backing, that 8-inch backing that you went ahead and cut up. And you're going to put this right side up. Okay. And then you're going to take, I can find it in this pile somewhere here. You're going to take your heart with the pin and you're going to do it facing down. So right side down on there. And then go ahead, just pile them all together. Make sure that they're nice and centered because you're going to be trimming a lot of this here. It has a little bit of a waste to it here, but it's not too bad. But what I like about it having this extra room is it lets you, especially a beginner, to be able to sew a little bit, you know, and you may make some mistakes here and there on your seam allowance, but it's okay because you have more than enough space to compensate for any mistakes. So I think that really likes, you know, that's how I really like this project because it's very beginner friendly. And if you're not able to sew straight, or maybe you can't get, you know, that exact piece that you want, it's okay because you have so much room here for error that you can fix mistakes as you go along. So really nice here. Now, what you're going to need to do, or what I like to do, is just kind of pin everything together. And I want to make sure that I pin, but I also leave myself a little area just so that I know that I cannot sew in this area. So I always pick a place where it's actually flat. So don't pick the area where the actual humps of the heart are, because that makes it much more difficult, and this is going to be trimmed away anyway. So you want to pick one of the sides that have a flat surface. So this is flat here and it's flat here. So you want to make 2 pins and put them in here. You want to keep this gap open. You are not going to be sewing in these lines because you want to keep this open so we can turn it inside out. And so I put 2 little pins here just to remind myself not to sew here, but I'm going to go ahead and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. Now, the guide that you are doing, you are not going to be sewing down here on the end all the way across. You are following the guide of the heart. The heart is what you're putting together. So you want to make sure that all of your layers will be included in that. And if you need to shift things around, go ahead and do that. But you want to make sure that you're sewing right here from where the heart begins. So this is your top layer. This is where you want to start to sew. So go ahead and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way across. Go all the way around. And then stop when you get to this point because that's where our pins are and we do not want to sew there. And then go ahead and sew this piece here. Once you've done that, that will enclose this whole area here. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trim all the excess. So once you have this all sewed up and you are happy with the way it came out, you can go ahead and trim all the other pieces off. All right, you're going to trim it here too, trim it over here. So you just kind of trim it up nice and clean, square it up, make sure that it's exactly how you'd want it. And then you'll be able to turn it inside out. Once you turn it inside out, I'll show you what it's going to look like. This is another one that I made. When you turn it inside out, you're going to see the little holder here is going to be on the outside. So you can use this to hang. And then what you're going to do is top stitch 1/8 of an inch here. I would just do 1/8 of an inch all the way around. If you do a 1/4 inch, that's fine too, but you might have a little bit of bulge here. And so when you sew this all the way around, you're going to now remove the two pins that you had here, and you're going to go ahead and close up that casing. So you're no longer going to have that hole because now everything is turned inside out, and you can go ahead and top stitch this all the way around. Now, another thing that you can do is you can, if you want, quilt it on top of that. So I did a little zigzag stitch. I was just kind of playing around with it. Did a little zigzag stitch going all the way across, and it kind of just made the project pop a little bit. It elevated it just a little. And then it also added a little design on the back where I now have the zigzag stitch on the back. I thought that was pretty cute, so I liked doing that. You could also do a cross stitch or do a little diamond shape in the back. I just chose to do one going across. So it did make this a little bit cuter because I was able to kind of do that little zigzag stitch right on the ditch there. So I thought that was pretty neat. So I went ahead and did that one. And that's kind of how that project works. Really super quick and easy. It's really a nice way to just kind of get rid of some of those scraps. And it's actually something that you can use in your kitchen. So it's a quick little gift. This can also be something that you can sell at a craft show or put on Etsy shops. You can personalize it here as well by putting embroidery on it. You can just do one color. You don't have to do squares. So if you want to just not have to do squares, then all you would have to do is just do one solid color of fabric, and you can either embroider it or do, all kinds of things on here. So it's just a quick little stash buster, but I thought for Valentine's Day, this would be such a cute project to have to get your kitchen ready for that time. So I thought this would be a nice little project, and one of my goals I'd want to do for later this year is do little sew-alongs and things with you guys. I'm trying to see how I can set up the cameras and set up the room so that I could do that, so that you guys could really see things as I do them. So hopefully the sew-alongs will get a little better, and they're going to be a little bit more up close, and you'll be able to see me actually sewing and putting things together. So right now, this is the best I can do is just kind of lay it out and explain to you what needs to be done. The book is pretty good if you don't have it. It's one of my favorites. They do have all kinds of different pot holders. Again, it is for all different seasons, and the instructions are pretty well laid out here. This is the one that they made in the book, and this is the one that I made here. And I'm going to probably make a couple of more just to get them out of the way. So I'll probably be referring to a couple of these projects on and off throughout the year because I really love to use my books and just kind of see what kind of projects I can make with the fabrics that I have on hand. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. But I think now we are ready to kind of get into some items that I think a lot of people are just anticipating. Let's find out who our champions are. So let me just kind of clear this area here, and we're going to get ready for that. I know I'm really excited to announce the winners, and I'm sure everyone is excited to know who is our champion. So let's get this out of the way. Move some of these. And get these out. Okay, let me just check really quick. I know I kind of flew through that a little quickly. I'll try to see if I can do a little tutorial maybe with some close-up shots of how I made the pot holder. I think that'll help as well. So I'll see if I can record that pretty soon and get that out at least before the Valentine's Day. Right, so let's see, a lot of people chatting in there. I think everyone loves the colors, super cute, awesome. Miss Nancy is now going to get me to make pot holders. This is beautiful, awesome. It's a great scrap buster, it really is. You know, you got a lot of scraps in there, get them out of your craft room, make some quick little projects. I think those are awesome. Oh, Marlene says she's having trouble cutting straight squares. So there's a few things that you can do with that, Marlene. There's a few things in terms of cutting. I would suggest, I don't know if you saw a couple of weeks ago, I got a little, a mat. I have my mat here, and I have a steel sheet that you can pick up from Home Depot that kind of makes it magnetic. And so I have these little magnets that I use, and what I can do is put my ruler down, and then I use these magnets, and I'm able to hold down the ruler a little bit better so that my cuts are a little bit more accurate. The other thing you can do, you know, check your rotary blade. Make sure that you guys are using rotary blades that are nice and sharp, not dull. You don't want to use a dull blade because that, you know, you'll have little nicks and, you know, it will kind of throw you off as well. So make sure you have a nice clean blade. Try to get some magnetic little things here to keep your rulers in place, or they have those non-slip things, or you can use sticky tape. There's all kinds of things that you can use to kind of make sure your ruler stays in place, in position when you are making those cuts, and just take your time. Some people like to cut 2, 3, 4, 5 squares at a time. If you're a beginner, stick with the 1 square. Try to do 1 at a time, and then just work your way into it. So I hope that helped out. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, Robin, I got behind. I'll have to rewatch to figure it out. Oh, don't worry, Robin. The video will be available for you. Okay, yes, anyone can do this. This is a very beginner-friendly project. So I hope you guys like that. Alrighty. Let's get going on this. So again, we're going to start off with the 4th quarter Trivia Master. And let me get my little envelopes here with the winners in here. So for the 4th quarter Trivia Master, that person again is going to be receiving a $20 gift card, a choice of one of the 3 books that we'll show you in just a few minutes, and then once they've picked or selected their books, we'll go ahead and send that out to them along with the gift card. So let's get to it. So for the 4th quarter Trivia Master, here we go. Congratulations! We have Crafting with Robin with 43 points. Crafting with Robin, congratulations! You are our 4th quarter Trivia Master. Congratulations, Crafting with Robin. Now, it was kind of close. I mean, it was close out there. We've got some points, and I'll show you a little recap in just a little bit on how close everything was. So you guys are really getting competitive, and now Crafting with Robin, you've got some bragging rights that are out there, and I do see you on the chat, and I'm glad that you are there. So Crafting with Robin, go ahead and send us an email and let us know the address that we'll be sending that to, and you should be receiving your little prize here in no time. So I hope you really enjoy it. Congratulations again. And now we also need to announce who our 2023 trivia champion is. So congratulations, Robin. I hope you really enjoy it. Now, again, you'll have your option of one of 3 books. And let me see here. If we can get the 3 books on the screen. You've got Quick and Easy Sewing. You also have the second book, which is Crochet Blankets. And then you have the third book, which is called Fat Quarter Quilts for Spring. So those are 3 books that are out there. So Crafting with Robin, go ahead and pick one of the 3. Let us know 1, 2, or 3, or just let us know if it's sewing, crochet, or the fun fat quarter books that you'd like, and we'll get that ordered and sent over to you. So I hope you really enjoy these books. I know I do. The books I think are really super helpful, and they're nice for just scrap busters and things that, you know, sometimes you just don't want to watch a video and you just want to kind of go through a book and kind of learn that way. So I hope you enjoy it. Let us know which one you would like, and you know, we'll get that over to you. If you want to drop that in the chat, or you can send it in the email, whichever you prefer. Email and all the information is down in the description area, so just go ahead and send us that. Okay, I think now we are getting ready for our 2023 Trivia Champion. But with that, I think that, you know, I just want to say that to me, the Trivia Champion is extra special because this person has been with us literally the entire year. And this person's been participating in the trivia, and you know, there's many of us that are out there that are doing that. So it's just, you know, it makes me really happy to know that you guys enjoy this and that you're learning as you go through that trivia. You know, it's something that, you know, we can build on our skills, and I'm hoping that for this year we can really build on a lot of skills by me kind of just being able to show you things a little bit more up close, personal, get that extra attention. So I think that you guys are really gonna love it, because I know I do. And I'm really excited about all of the things that I have planned for this year. So I really hope everything comes through. This year, I mean, 2024 for me personally started with a little bump on the road. We did have someone that passed away in our family. It was really on New Year's Eve, so it was like an hour and 40 minutes after New Year's Eve ran in. So it was a little bit difficult, but you know, we're just gonna kind of keep thinking positivity, and I know 2024 is going to be a fantastic year, and I really hope that I keep that in mind and just keep moving forward. So let's get to it. Let's get to our 2023 champion, and let the drum roll, and let's see who we have for our 2023 champion. Judy Bauer, congratulations. Judy Bauer has 160 points, with 1 Minute Tips close behind with 148 points, Crafting with Robin with 133 points, and Robin's Quilt Basket had 130, Jackie Hall, I mean, it goes on and on. It's really amazing. Judy, I can't believe it. Thank you so much for participating. I think that it's amazing. 160 points, really great. Awesome. I know some of the trivia questions can be a little bit tricky, but you know, it's just something that sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're hard. You just gotta have to be here as much as you can, answer as many as you can, and the points do tally up. So it's really amazing. Congratulations. And we'll be again sending out a $50 gift card. We're going to again ask you to choose one of the 3 books, and if you can let me put that back up on the screen. So one of the 3 books would be the sewing book, the crochet book, or the fun fat quarter book. So let us know which one you would like, so we can get that over to you. You can let us know in the chat, or you can send us the email and just let us know. And we'll also be sending you out a gifted crafter apron, just like I think Robin's quilt basket was our winner last year. And I see her little picture there shows her wearing the apron, so that makes me really happy. So I hope that you enjoy it as well. I really hope that you guys really enjoy this trivia, because I think it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of work and things to put together, but I think you guys really enjoy it and you like to learn new things all the time, just as much as I do. Okay, I think that kind of wraps it up here. I did have one little thing that I didn't get to show this last time, and then for a couple of weeks I've had it here, wanted to show it to you guys, and I kept kind of running out of time and not being able to do that. So we still have a couple of minutes, so I do want to show you that, but I also want to show you the point breakdown. So let me just put those on the screen really quick. So this is the Saturday CrafterNoon live trivia point standing for 2023 by quarter. And as you can see here, the one highlighted in yellow, that's Judy Bauer. You can see how many points she had. We do track everything, and you can see how close everyone was for every quarter. It's amazing. You guys are really getting a little challenged out there. We've got some real competition going on. So we've got the points by quarter, and this is how we were able to kind of calculate to see who won for our 2023 champion. So again, we started off the trivia today. I know the questions were a little bit tough, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. You just got to be here every time to be able to participate and try to rack up those points. So congratulations to Crafting with Robin. Congratulations also to Judy Bauer, and I hope you guys really enjoy the gifts. Now, I do want to kind of just get one thing out of the way that, like I said, I've been trying to show this to you and we kept running out of time. I participated in a course with Crafty Gemini, and she holds like a little raffle, and I got this little mystery box, and I thought it was really neat. I wanted to just kind of share, because she is one of my favorite YouTube persons that I do learn a lot off of as well. And she sent me this little box, so I wanted to kind of just share with you what I got. And let me just do this quick little, it's just a quick little box that I got here from her. And it's just a little mystery with a lot of little gadgets, a little crafting box for me. So right here we've got some thread. This is some Egyptian cotton. It's a 50 weight thread, and this is Wonderfill, which is a really nice brand. Love that. She also sent me some sewing and craft tape. We've got some fabric, really neat. She also sent me a little seam ripper, portable one that you can kind of tuck away, which is nice. So if you're going to those retreats. A little notepad, says I sew all things. I've got got some mesh fabric here. We've got a pair of snips. A nice little pen that says Sewist for Life, which is cute. Then I've got here some hardware for some bag making, which is nice. So, and some nice hardware, different things in here, which is nice. It'll work for a couple of bags. And then she's got her little logo on here, Crafty Gemini, and a little wine bottle opener. That might come in handy. And then, of course, she put in her little business card, because when you send out stuff to people, you should always put your little card in there, which is really nice. So I really love the little box that she gave me, and I was happy that I won. So, everybody wins here. Everybody wins, right? Just like the winners. So it's awesome. So everyone here is a winner because I think you all get to learn and enjoy things, and I hope you really love this hour, and thank you so much for spending it with me. It's really an awesome time. It's really awesome to have you guys. You're all winners, and thank you all so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed this hour, and I hope you learned some quick tips and tricks that will help you with your sewing and crafting needs. Thank you all for joining and tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye.